Earlier this month, Rita Hart was re-elected to lead the Iowa Democratic Party. Now, she has faced some criticism after Democrats failed to gain ground in Iowa in both 2022 and 2024. So John Diaz spoke to her for This Week here on WQAD, and he asked her if the message she and Iowa Democrats have been sending perhaps doesn't align with what voters want to hear. Take a listen.
That is our challenge here, that that the message that has gone out about Democrats is not necessarily coming from Democrats. It's coming uh, the from the Republicans and from people who are working against the Democratic initiatives to put out a message about Democrats that doesn't fit with who we are and what we stand for.
And of course, John Diaz is joining us here right now. So when you talk to Rita, she does admit there is a messaging problem between Iowa Democrats and voters. So what does she say is going to help Democrats looking ahead even to 2026?
Well, you heard her call that a challenge. She actually said it was a big challenge. So that's kind of the first thing, recognizing that there is a problem there. That message is not coming from the Democratic Party, it's coming from the right. So the first thing she has to think about is that gone are the days where the message comes from one place. You can't just put out a message to one place and expect that everyone's going to get it from that place. It's coming from a lot of different places. So she needs to have sort of an infrastructure there where multiple people are getting the message out in multiple places. So that's one thing she's going to be working on. The other thing she's going to be working on is recruiting people to run for office across the state in local elections. That, again, is going to help get that message out. That's a message of, that the Democratic Party represents a party of fairness, about giving people a shot, about building the education system, which she doesn't believe necessarily is the message that is out there right now. There's also the message of holding Republicans accountable. So she brought up challenges that exist in the state and says, Republicans are responsible for the policies that perhaps have led to those issues. So that's another part of the message.
Well, after Democrats lost seats in 2022 and 2024 in both rural and urban areas, she seemed rather optimistic throughout your whole interview. Why is that?
Yeah, she admits that a couple of years ago, the Iowa Democratic Party was basically non-existent. It was a mess. It didn't have the money, it didn't have the resources, the people, and the organization to do the work that needs to be done. And the work that needs to be done, she says, is not rocket science. But now it's different, right? Now she has the money, she has the resources and the people, and she can begin to train people to do the work that needs to be done, and to support local county parties to do that work. She's also optimistic, surprisingly, about the results. Okay, so yeah, did they lose seats? Absolutely. Did the needle move to the right? Yes, but she says it didn't move quite as much to the right as it did in other states that are as red as Iowa, similarly positioned. So she was hopeful about that, and she was also hopeful about the governor's race that's coming up. She didn't give me very much details as to what that necessarily is going to look like, but she thinks there's a chance there to really kind of change the trajectory, of the Iowa Democratic Party.
Yeah, you guys got into a lot of it, more than what we have time to right now.
Exactly, long interview there, yeah.
John, thank you for being here. If you guys want to catch John's full interview with Iowa Democratic Party Chair Rita Hart from Sunday's episode of This Week, you can find it on our free News 8 Plus app right there on the homepage.